Hey everyone, so sorry for the delay. Yay! Yay, sound is fixed. I'm glad you figured it out. And thanks for waiting. Okay, give me 1 sec to see if the rig actually works. I'm trying to do 2 devices at once. So that should be. If someone is able to share the slides, that would be greatly appreciated. Maybe Cat Jam or Drake.
I gotcha. Let me find them.
Thank you. I'll pop them into the chat. All right, they're in the chat if that helps.
Okay, I just put them up. Is it okay for me to go ahead and screen share, Marina?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Wait, do other people hear Marina?
I do. Do
I
you?
hope so.
Do not.
Yeah.
Here.
Wait,
All right,
Drake,
go
do
ahead
you
and get
hear
started.
us?
I hear you. I hear you, Meg. Yeah. I'll come
Testing.
back. You guys are good. I'll come back.
A tech issues day. What a way to wrap 2022. All right.
All right. Sorry about that.
No worries. Thank you everyone for waiting. We're 5 minutes past, so hope it's okay if we get started. Welcome everyone to the final weekly meeting of 2022. Rochelle is out of office, so I'm subbing in for her today, and we'll just get started with our call technicalities and agenda on the next slide. Meg, if you can switch to the next one, unless mine's not updating. Tech issues day. Anyway, thanks, Meg. So if anyone's new here, just gonna go quickly over the call technicalities and agenda. We're here every week to understand what's being worked on by all the pods and prep for the week ahead. We can do quick introductions if someone's new on the call, but I feel like we've been skipping them a lot recently. I don't know if anybody is here for the first time. You are welcome to unmute, say hello, who you are, and what brings you to MetricsDAO. Now is your time. All familiar faces. Cool. All right. Awesome. In that case, let's do our Guess Who, our new fun tradition. And before we jump into that, the call is recorded, but since it's all familiar faces, hopefully you all kind of are familiar with the technicalities as well. Please stay muted unless you're speaking, and we're here for 30 minutes. All right. And now Guess Who? So here is this person's most frequently used Discord emojis. And we do have a hint on the next slide. Mr. Odin, no. Any other guesses? You can unmute yourself also. Helix said Vida, and that is correct. Excellent. That was a quick guess. Great. What gave it away, Helix?
Okay. there were very little, so that's always a hint that's a very new person. So I just went down the list.
Yeah. Yeah, I looked at the flag, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then I Googled some flags, and that was my personal hint. But that works too. That's a great way to guess. We also have a hint, which we didn't end up using, but yeah, it's there on the next slide. This person, Vida, won second place in a squat holding competition in India. And yes, if you ever want to tell us the squat competition story, I would love to hear. I don't actually know exactly what a squat holding competition is. It's you're doing a squat as an exercise and you're holding it. I think that's it. And how long of a squat? Many questions in chat.
So I can quickly answer. So actually, it was after a marathon. Like I didn't run the whole marathon, just like 15 kilometers. And then, yeah, they were just like spontaneously hosted the squad holding competition, and then about 25 people participated. Yeah, and then I actually have no clue how long it was. They never really told me, but he actually had to stop us. Like stop us from holding the squad because we were just doing it for too long, the last two people. So I just won the second place because my squad was a bit higher than the other girls. So yeah, but that was really funny.
That's amazing. And I love how everyone was holding for so long that the competition had to end early. That's an amazing story. It's great to get to know you more. And I hope that there's more stories to come in the future. And with that, let's do our season 3 goals recap, as we always do. So we are towards the tail end of season 3, as you may know. And some of our goals include transitioning bounties seamlessly from Flipside, distributing Xmetric to 2,500 holders, as well as growing our activated analyst community to 550 users who submit an analytics challenge. Here also, I want to make a couple of notes. One is that we are, as a DAO, mostly offline next week, and hope everyone enjoys their holidays, and we'll be back bigger, stronger, more energized in the new year. And yeah, that's going to be a really exciting period for rest and reflection and stuff like that for many of us. And also another note I wanted to make here, and we have Cat Jam who will talk a little bit more about season 3 not actually wrapping up in at the end of December as initially planned, and just kind of some thoughts about that. So here's to you, Meg.
Yeah, thank you. One of the great things about being a DAO and running on seasons is we're not necessarily beholden to the calendar as much as we are our own goals. And all of our goals this season are around ensuring a smooth and splashy launch for our app and protocol that's coming in mid-January. This is going to be an MVP or a kind of beta version of our protocol that will replace the Airtable and Notion technology that makes our bounty program run. And what we're super excited about is that it's going to, A, make all of our lives as DAO contributors easier, and B, allow us to achieve much more scale in our bounty programs, to serve many more partners, to have many more submissions, to onboard many more analysts. And so with that in mind, we've extended season 3 to go through the end of January so that we just keep marching on supporting the launch of the app and protocol until then, at which point we'll do our 2-week off season to reflect on the previous season, to set goals for the next season, and go from there. And happy to take any questions if you've got them.
Thanks, Meg. It's a really awesome thing we're all going through at the DAO with the app launching and being built in our process, and the industry really being kind of rethought and reimagined. So it's really cool that I find that our process for seasons kind of adapts to that as well.
I have a quick question. Is the goal for season 4 to completely only use a beta protocol, or would there be some kind of mix between the old and the new, or is that still up in the air?
Oh, that's a great question. Aaron and Elise will have better answers to this than I do, but since they're not here, I'll attempt something. I would say that our goal after the app launches is to run most of our programs through it. I don't think it's feasible to run all of our programs through it because we are still testing things out, particularly as we migrate bounties over from Flipside to MetricsDAO. And we're trying out new formats, potentially things like tournaments that the app wasn't built for yet, potentially trying some new like education programs that run through Notion instead of the app, that kind of thing. But our bread and butter bounty programs, like the things that we are all most used to running, should go through the app. And then we'll build in support for kind of the lower edge cases. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Thanks.
Thanks, Meg. Thanks for the question. And if there are no more questions, let's move on to our updates, starting with analytics. And we have Elise for analytics today.
Hey, Elise is actually out today. This is Ed. I'm going to try and do justice for her presentation. But Meg, can you switch slides forward one for me? Cool. So yeah, our KPIs are looking good for this week. We are up 176 submissions, up to a grand total of over 2,247 exactly. We've added 38 analysts, up to a total of 510. 4 of those are stellar, which brings us up to 123. And we've added 1 program, which brings us up to 20. This is awesome growth on all 4 of these KPIs. And if you go to that link, you can view these charts and watch our progress in near real time.
Thanks, Ed, and thanks for stepping in for Elise. And if there are no questions, we have peer review next with Forg.
Peer review. So some KPIs on the week, 21 volunteers for peer review with an expected turnaround time of 2 days. That's pretty awesome. And looking over at submissions, I'm seeing some great numbers over here. Looks like 173 over the past 7 days. Solana Open Analytics being the most popular of those with 46. Ultimate FIFA and Collect Dashboard with 26. Cosmos Open Analytics just under 2819, 23 for the Near Transparency Report, 16 for Teradash Part 2, and then just a few for the Web3 Analytics course at 8. So some areas of focus, bounties often result in ties that have to be educated by the operations team in some way, shape, or form. So the peer review team is looking to decentralize this work by delegating it to a tiebreaker council. And then for bounties that are financed by MDAO, they may experiment with including the tweet thread in the scoring of the bounty submissions. And then another area of focus is, as they're receiving more submissions, starting to apply our basis of payment, which only pay the top 21 submissions. So yes, that was not happening previously.
Thanks, Forg, for your update. And we have Xmetric next. And I think there's also an update in chat from Lee about the new updated MetricsDAO dashboard page, which thanks Kakamora for updating it. It looks really awesome. It gives you more capabilities and more filtering. And keep in mind also that it shows 3 months as a default. So if you would like to see all time, you will need to go in and remove the time filter altogether. So just a little note there. And let's do Xmetric. So as of today, we have 1,600 or 1,621 participants, plus 68 over the past week, towards our goal of 2,500 by end of year, which we've been talking about how our community, many in our community already have Xmetric, and kind of how to expand and grow to other communities as well and find users there. And a bit more about that will be at the end on the growth slide. And here you can see a couple of graphs, which both this week come from our dashboard by one of our analysts, Janan, and it's linked here on the flip side app link. That also shows you the weekly growth, and it also shows you that we currently have almost 1.3 million Xmetric distributed so far. And with that update, let's do bounty ops next. And we have James.
Hey everyone. So to recap last week's accomplishments, S3B12, 2 bounties, 40 submissions, Terra and Near were finished. S13B13, 3 bounties, 107 submissions, Algify, FIFA plus Collect. Analytics that were started was Terra, Near, and In the News, Uniswap NFT aggregator. And then December 16th through the 23rd, open analytics times 2, so ETH and Solana and EVM, and then review completed for S3 B10 and are being finalized for B12 and 13. This week's priorities, it's going to be to initiate payments for reviewed batches up to B13, review of B14 and B15, finalize the planning and launch of MetricsDAO Holiday Mega Dash Extravaganza. So what that means is a 2-week challenge where analysts are encouraged to build the last dashboards for each of 6 best dashboards for each of 6 topics. With the goal to increase time, we'll give analysts more time to go above and beyond, while also giving our team a break during the holidays since nothing will be due until January.
Thanks, James, for the Bounty Ops update. Also see the update going on in real time. If there are no questions, let's do protocol dev by Lee this week.
Okay, so in the past week, the contracts are live on Gorley. I don't know how you pronounce that, the Ethereum testnet, I believe. And that team started integration work. The ecosystem page first draft is built and marketing homepage designs came together. And the rewards and ecosystem test cases are now documented. And over this next week, the priorities are protocol events deployed and shared with the payments protocol, and a ton of good progress on creating a marketplace through the application end to end. And once again, time is a blocker, but the protocol dev team is speeding along. And anything else anyone wants to add to that?
That's awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, James. Thanks, Ed. Let's go on to BizDev this time for Aaron. Is Aaron here? I did not check, admittedly. I don't think he is.
I don't see him, but I'm happy to fill in.
Thanks, Meg.
Okay. On deck or accomplished last week, rather, for BizDev, built out a targeted list to prospect into for outbound, continued outbound cadence with some previous targets, and continuing conversations with our friends at Algify, Genie Data, and Footprint Analytics. This week, James and I are meeting with the co-founder of Algify tomorrow. Meeting on Wednesday with Dave, who's the CEO of Flipside and The Graph. That's an interesting BD opportunity that Flipside has brokered. And so really excited for James to represent MetricsDAO here. James and Helix have also been working with Genie Data, getting a proposal out this week, fingers crossed. Setting a meeting with Outlier, continuing with outbound cadence, and looking into possible grants.
And then I just wanted to add, like literally on this call, the meeting was set for Altlayer, so Helix and I are going to hop on that at 11:30 on Wednesday.
Amazing. Helix and James are a dynamic duo.
Super exciting. Thanks, Meg. Thanks, James. Thanks, Helix, for also picking up BizDev. That's super exciting. And now we have a duo slide of DAO Ops, which includes Gov and Treasury. And we got 2 speakers for this one. Patrick for governance first, and then Helix will do Treasury updates.
Okay, excellent. All right, so for Gov update, basically the Governance Council had a meeting with Protocol Dev to hopefully integrate some of the processes into the application itself. The main takeaway is that it will offer flexibility to DAO, but not constrict our operations. And I think there's also, I want to jump ahead a tiny bit. There is a proposal by Aaron to grow our Xmetrics holder base. This right now is on Discourse. I'm going to ping the link right here. Please interact with it. All right, that's my update. Going back on mute.
Thanks, Patrick. And let's go over to Helix with Treasury updates.
Yes, all right. Treasury updates. So this past week, we paid batch 9 for the Near and Luna bounties. Plus the Luna curation contributors have been paid. Also, we've uploaded batches 10 and 11 for payment, and Bill will ping the multisig after confirmation from the bounty ops team for batch 10 deck season. This week priorities will be preparation for the 1099s by gathering the 2022 payout data. And we will need to request W-9s from anyone who has received over $600 from MDAO and ask for consent to send the 1099 electronically. That's it.
Thank you, Helix. I actually have a question for Treasury here. Is there anything for any analysts who are, or any participants who are non-US based in this vein?
I don't think so, but I need to confirm that. I think just for a little overview of what people can expect here. Our first step is to gather data for, who's received money from MDAO that amounts to over $600. And second, once we get that info, we'll probably be emailing out a Google form where you can say you consent to receiving a 1099 electronically, and then once we get your W-9 info, we can send you your 1099, and you can file that. That's kind of the broad overview of how it's going to look, at least for US analysts and contributors. For international, I'm not sure if we need to take any different or additional steps, but this is all something we're working through, and we have some resources at Flipside that we'll be tapping into to make sure we're doing this all correctly. So I know that, sorry, Marina, if that doesn't answer your question totally, but I'll have it on my list and I'll get that info for you.
Thanks, Bill. It's really interesting to hear kind of what's in the pipeline there and kind of what considerations happen. Thank you. Cool. We just have a couple of pods left. So let's do curation with Zook.
Hi, everyone. I think we can switch the slide to curation, please. Thank you. So, quick update, short update on curation. All outstanding PRs are closed out for Terra. So I think that means that the Terra curation is in pretty good shape. This week, the team is working async due to the holiday. So those are all the updates we have, but feel free to ask any questions or add anything to what I just said. Thank you.
Thank you, Zook. If there are no additions or questions, let's move on to the growth team slide, which is quite a contrast with how many things we've done.
Yeah, I know, right? I was gonna tag Borg and said you guys have been busy over there, but then it felt mean. So Marina, thank you for saying it for me. Growth team updates, as always, the slide is absolutely stacked. Big news is public, so really great push around the Metrics app last week. I'm excited to see tons of interactions with that tweet, as well as some good excitement. We've been promoting our courses, so we have Near and Algorand courses, both getting 65, 66 signups respectively. And our January live Analytics 101 course has nearly 250 signups, which is pretty impressive. Ethereum course lower at 40. Honestly, it's a little surprising to me. Interested if anyone has any ECs why Near and Algorand are higher. And the course students learned Dune with Shushin, who is at Optimism and also been a big part of MetricsDAO. This week's priority, we're going to have a dedicated community call on Thursday led by Elise showing off the Metrics app and continued promotion of that, as well as promoting the courses. And we're going to have a panel tomorrow with some Dune legends, Hill Dobby, Aga Perste, and Andrew Hong. It'll be moderated by Helix. That's really awesome. Excited to see us working with that group. We're also running a Joke DAO contest right now, so get votes in tomorrow for your favorite student dashboard. Our students and Season 3 MDAO badge holders can vote. Love to hear a little bit more about that if we have another minute. And we have a community call tomorrow. I got to attend one of these the Marina ran in the last couple weeks, and really cool. So definitely stop by and get a sense for people joining MetricsDAO. Marina, anything else there?
Thanks, Drake, for handling our slide, which is chock-a-block of all the fun things happening. I just want to mention that Helix pointed out that we would like a lot more new course signups, and ideally fast, and it's in concerns or blockers. So if someone has connections at relevant and big communities that intersect with us or could intersect, Helix would love to hear from you. And other than that, growth is set for a week away. Thanks to Rochelle, who's out this week but has prepared a thorough away plan. Thanks, Rochelle, if you're ever watching this. And we do have a minute. So maybe I'll just quickly mention, Drake, what you asked about the Joke DAO contest, and maybe there's other questions on other topics after that. Awesome. So yeah, we've ran our first Joke DAO contest among our Web3 Analytics 101 course students this week. Starting from this weekend, students and their community members are able to vote on their favorite student dashboard that they did for their educational bounty. This one is on Uniswap versus SushiSwap DEX comparison. And yeah, so the voting token holders include all of the students who are currently enrolled, students who are going to be learning with us come January, and also all of us here on this call. We sent some voting tokens to all the Season 3 MetricsDAO badge holders. So contributors, governors, curators. I think it's one. I don't think it's cumulative. I think it's one if you're all of these groups. I'm not exactly sure, although I sent them, but I think that's the idea here. We can rethink that for next contest if you like. But would love to hear kind of from this group as well, which dashboards look, compelling to you, look like they have potential to you. So that's the logic and reasoning there for giving voting tokens to our MetricsDAO team as well. So be sure to click on the link and go vote. It closes tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern. And the winner will be announced in the career panel, actually. So that's the Joke DAO spiel. And if there's any other questions, now is a great time for any of the pods, I think. And if not, thank you all so much for being here today. Thank you, CatGM, for stepping in with the slides. I really appreciate it. And MetricsDAO, starting from the week of the 25th of December, is going to be mostly offline. Just a reminder, many of us are working on, I think, away plans this week, and we'll be sharing those so that the DAO continues to run smoothly. Sandesh is on the community side, really graciously stepping in next week, and he'll be taking his rest and time off to recharge later in 2023. And yeah, have a wonderful week and a great holiday week after that, and see you in 2023. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, y'all.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye bye.